a very affordable place to find very safe clothing for you is a thrift store or the Salvation Army, Goodwill, Savers, etc. Most of the time, your God-made clothes need to be ironed. They need to be pressed. They need to be hung up immediately out of the dryer, or they need a little extra attention where you can't dry them in the dryer. You have to hang them up. It takes work to have them, and a lot of people won't put that time and effort into it, and they give them away. Very, very inexpensive place to find very good clothes for you. One thing I wanted to touch on briefly is we were at a sustainable agricultural meeting in Aberdeen, and there was I don't even remember who it was. Somebody was there who said that they get calls from organic farmers that the day after they are inspected for organic certification, those organic farmers are calling to have their fields sprayed with pesticides and herbicides. By the time that they would be inspected again, it's already gotten out of the system or off the fields. It's not able to be tested for, but they are getting away with spraying their crops, which means that sometimes when you have an organic meal, buy some produce, it tastes gross. Something is wrong with it. It's labeled organic, but it doesn't taste good. Those are the ones that are compromised. They're the ones that are not having the integrity. Those are the ones you want to stay away from. If you have that happen, don't buy that brand again. Stay away from that store. Look for your locally grown foods, local organic farmers. Find it where you know that it's actually safe and that they have integrity in their product, which also leads to some of the organic cotton clothing. We have actually done muscle testing with some of your organic cotton clothing, and they are worse than your regular cotton clothing. So just because it's labeled organic does not always mean that the integrity has been behind it. So always check it. Don't just trust the label.
This travels across almost every profession. The way you find out the real healthy, safe, is you get to know who the owner, the manufacturer, who's making money off of it. You find out if it's their passion or if it's just for profit. Like when you built your mowers, that was passion. It shows up when they're 20 years old, they're still passion. So if you can find that, like the neighbor that has an organic horse, oats, it's his passion. He loves to farm. He doesn't go just for the bucks. He's got enough bucks already, but he's not just about getting richer. Same thing with the organic cotton. I think if you were to check, you'd find out that people with greed motives can put the word organic on any kind of a sticker or tag. And I had a friend who used to haul cable out of Mexico, and he had to take made in USA stickers with. So when he got across the border, he stapled made in USA on the whole spool of cable. And I said, Landis, how can you do that and feel good about it? They said, they told me that this sticker is made in America. This is a USA sticker. Sure enough, the sticker was made in USA. So, deception. These days miss out on positivity. I'll just cover one thing again. If you have any say-so over the place where you work, like if you're a manager or can become a squeaky wheel, like at a bank teller or whatever, the days that they have to wear polyester are bad days. Just steals their energy big time. Have cotton day. Now the editors would have a cotton day. And watch the mood, the productivity go up, and the health go up.
Casual Friday.
Oh yeah, casual Friday. She was working the bank. So Fridays were always not just good to look forward to, they're a healthier day for you. And try to cut out one of the worst interrupters that's really wrecking the thyroid so that the ladies can't stay slim and trim is perfume. I was met some Young Living oils, and put real oil, they work better, they heal you while they're smelling good, and it doesn't steal your life. You know, almost every profession has a part of it. I need something slicker, slick 50 in my armpit. Almost every profession, something about it is hampering or stealing your life. Try to get leather chair cushions. If you're sitting in an office, there's coils for helping the EMF stress from the computer. Just start asking questions. If there isn't a solution, invent it and get wealthy. Why not?
Full spectrum light bulbs.
Full spectrum light bulbs. The reason we like it, they cost $10 more.
So what?
That's what your price
You
is.
won't feel tired when you go home at
Don't
night.
be tired and it won't steal your thyroid. Now the reason we like this place, at least the people in the center get to be underneath some sun. Over here, these are not full spectrum. In fact, when you get near a full spectrum light, it feels good. You can tell the difference. And be sure to write that down. Thanks for reminding me. I outfitted my clinic at full spectrum, and now I gotta find some more ballasts. They're getting old. These new mercury light bulbs are gonna be torture. You're gonna find out one day they'll be outlawed. You probably have somebody with a hazmat outfit come pick them up, or wherever you deliver to,
Get
they'll,
rid of them.
yeah, they're dangerous. The protocol to get rid of a broken light bulb that's got full of mercury, it costs you hundreds and hundreds of dollars to have done properly. And then your house is still gonna be dangerous.
If you bust one, get out of the house immediately.
Yeah, mercury.
Wait 15 minutes, the thing is said, but don't use a vacuum cleaner to suck up because it's gonna blow it all
It
over.
makes it worse. Any of you see the picture of that guy that stepped on a piece of glass from a broken mercury, and his whole leg is about deteriorated down to where it looks like some kind of hamburger. It's just totally, he's stepping on a big toe, and it's taking his whole foot. I don't think they're making that story up. My dad was warned years ago, we had mercury vapor lamps, what to do with them. Now that somebody got enough power to make the law that you're supposed to switch over to them. Of course, someone's supposed to make a law, we have to have these special boxes for the TV. And some of us don't have TVs. Okay, any random questions? Yes, Jeremy.
Yesterday, during the test, you mentioned something about the frequencies of the fungus, this and that, and the body, and there was a gap between the body and these other funguses, sine waves, square waves. Is that something you want to touch on?
Well, that's getting a little bit over most people's hairspray, especially mine. What he's bringing, and it's good that you asked this question, because everything on the planet runs on frequency. And so when you're trying to destroy fungus, you've got a low frequency, and under 100 on the square wave. When you get into bacteria, you're going to be 2 to 350 square wave. 450 to about 600 would be worms and mutant bacteria. 700 would be mites. Well, I showed him yesterday, every parasite on the planet has a frequency. If you dial in that frequency, you explode a parasite. Well, how can it be safe on a human? Well, the human numbers, the last parasite number we've ever found is like 835. The first human organ is 1,000. So with that machine, there's no danger of slipping all of a sudden into a zone that would damage an organ. Now, square wave, this is going to sound like deep for some of you. But a square wave is square. It goes up, and it abruptly changes. Your voice, by the way, is a square wave. It goes back and forth to make the sound. Real abrupt. Sawtooth goes up, drops down. Goes up at a ramp, drops down. I don't know what anybody uses a sawtooth for. Why it's on my machine, I have no clue. But the sine wave is like beautiful classic music massaging your organs. So when you want to heal an organ, you use sine wave. When you want to destroy a parasite, you use square wave. I don't know of any other machine that has all three. And that machine was designed for something else besides parasites. Good question. Now, when we're talking about frequencies, I can share some good news. We talk about the color for the reproductive organs, and colors have frequency. But have you ever gone to church and listened to hymns and something about it is just soothing? Now, go to a rock concert, it's like, almost makes you want to fight. This is why it's very popular. I've been in front of some of the speakers at a Bee Gees concert, and I thought, who's messing with my legs? And it was just the air moving back and forth from the frequency, the big speakers. When you have harsh beating, yeah, tickle. Yeah. Dill pickle juice.
You have a bottle of water over there.
Yeah.
That's well water.
Excuse me. I've got a book at home, doing some digging into it. They discovered you can take the plaque right off of teeth with vitamin B, with B flat above middle C. So they've taken a device and amplify that and just basically go over the teeth, the plaque falls off. The hygienists didn't like that. They need a job. It's too simple, it's too radical. So it's a real challenge to even find one of the old machines that puts out the B flat to get rid of plaque, right? Middle C heals the reproductive organs. Now, if you take some of these healthier frequencies, it's called a hymn or classical music. Now, if you want to get an effect, you use loud, erratic music. I'm not sure about rap. I'd like to do some grandpa rap before I pass away. Boy, that's hot.
Kind of cool for a while.
What do you got to heal my tongue? No,
It's that mushroom stuff.
reaching.
It works.
It'll be cool if it just, I'm gonna cool off on that. Thanks. So I envision if we could make a chamber, a music chamber, where you could run the body through with different notes. We could literally break the plaque in the body. When you have reflexology, have you ever felt like somebody's cutting your foot? Those crystals show up underneath the microscope. They're made out of mineral deposits. We have a frequency to get at some of the plaque, or some of the crystals. So, future studies, somebody's going to come up with a system not only to break the plaque down on the teeth, but to do the whole body, and hopefully the body can handle the cleanup. I'd be very gentle when I first did it, if I was running the machine. I'm just giving some ideas of where this healthy could go to. But all of the frequencies affect the body. Now, when you do something like hard acid rock, you're going against the clock. You're going against the beat of your heart. You're going against the rhythm of the earth. And so you get a very cool effect. It gives the body the fight or flight adrenal stress, and actually causes a buzz in the body, almost like a drug high, which is why it's hard to get somebody to quit listening to ugly music. I don't know, I call it ugly, to them it's exciting. I haven't figured out where rap fits in. First off, I can't hear what they're saying. But I don't know if the beat is off or it's on. Does anybody have a clue? I don't. It's a fad, okay? It's gonna pass. Just like every fad is passed except maybe hymns and classic music. Any other questions or comments? It helps when I go through an outline. Usually I run out of time before I run out of series on that paper, Hit and Myth. If I was to tell you all the myths, that, not just the cholesterol myth, it's not just the thing about hormones, thing about salt. There's so many stories we've been taught that keeping us sick. Oh, polarity. Thank you, everybody. I told you I got struck with lightning when I was 12. They took my blood and made it into homeopathic. Let me show you how you can save the trip and the money. I'll use mine. Anything. I'm going to show you how to put some of the polarity back in, and then I'll show you how to test. But here's one of the ways, simple way, sometimes reset the polarity. You go right on the gallbladder meridians, which is your shoulder, right above your shoulder blades, and you do 3 double taps. Boom, 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 boom. Sometimes that's all it takes to put polarity back in. I'll test you, see if your polarity's off. Right-handed or left-handed? Shoulder okay? He doesn't have any pain. Let's give him some. Okay, I'm gonna have you deltoid press straight out. You'll get resistance. I'm sure that doesn't be right on it. Okay, put your hand in your forehead. Resist. Turn your hand over. Take that back. That's, yeah. You see? He's so strong I can tell. So I'm gonna, he's too strong for me to tell. So I'm gonna show you another way. Do your fingers like this on the left hand. Okay, resisting. Now you put your hand on your forehead, the other one, that's either way. Resisting. Turn your hand over. Resisting. This guy, he's strong. You're in good shape. You're like, he's so strong I can do pull-ups on his arm. Let's get something a little weaker. No, I'll just test. I'll just test. Standing up here. Not that you look weak or anything, but I want to test your polarity. Which shoulder is better? Resistant. Hand in the forehead. Resistant. Turn your hand. Resistant. She's stuck in neutral. So I'm going to just massage her liver from the middle to the outside. Some people have a swollen liver and it hurts just to do that. You try again. Hand in the forehead. Turn your hand. That did part of it. Let's see if we can bring it up a little bit better. Cheaper than a triple pulse. Okay, hand in the forehead. Now we're getting. Okay, you remember how we set a chair or do our own polarity? Do you mind showing it? I'll do it with you. When you're by yourself and you want to prepare your polarity, the first polarity would be when the electricity goes up your left leg from the earth. It gets stuck at the leg. So what happens is they're weaker this way than this way. You want to be so strong this way that it's almost like doing pull-ups, and so weak this way. The cop throws his energy at you with his hand open. When you do this, you close a circuit. Just like if you see an accident or see something that just shocks you, automatically you check. Your body will have already put your hand over your chest before you even can hardly finish saying, oh my God. It closes the circuit so you don't have a coronary heart attack. Okay, now let's put our polarity in. You're right-handed. We're both right-handed. If we're left-handed, we would put left over the top. But we're both right-handed, so we put the right ankle over the top. Put your hands out backwards. chakra shield. We can shock it with fluoride toothpaste or any kind of poison and do the same thing. Okay, now bring up the tongue like a monkey between the roof, lips and teeth, top teeth, and we take 3 seriously deep breaths. And then come up. That works real good. I like to do that when I'm in the bathtub. I just sit there. Anyway, but let me check your players, see if we're any stronger. She didn't even feel the difference. It's like I could hurt her shoulder if I kept pushing. Didn't give up on her when it's in a weak position. Thank you. Reverse polarity follows whether there's been traumas to the body, emotional or physical. Severe trauma, like getting knocked out from a car accident or from a fight, rape. Women oftentimes are in reverse polarity when raped. My case, I got hit with lightning. Every case I've had that I've met somebody else hit with lightning has reverse polarity. And so there's about 20% of us having trouble with severe reverse polarity. You'll have trouble being well. It'll be tough for you to get well. Nutrition won't work right. And now anesthesiologists should know this because they could literally take you over the edge with their poison when they put you out for surgery. And it could really be simply because your polarity's been reversed. In fact, surgery sometimes puts the polarity out. Trauma to the body. The hard blow, I think about Muhammad Ali, all those blows to the head. A hard blow to the head can just really hurt the polarity issue. And it doesn't heal itself. It needs some kind of help. The Japanese know enough about it that they made special magnetic insoles. But the Americans are so wimpy they couldn't wear these thin magnetic insoles with bumps. We have a version that doesn't have a bumps. Do you have your bumps in? No, you don't.
No, back issues.
We've hung on to these old version of the Japanese mag steps just for that purpose, to help encourage somebody to get back to the polarity that the body was designed for.
Grounding.
Grounding? Every day we're supposed to ground ourselves. In northern country, in the wintertime, it's hard to go barefoot on the ground. Summertime, you can go barefoot. It's very grounding. A more direct connection is almost unheard of unless you live in the country. But to ground yourself, you should pee on the ground. I mean ladies too. Now us men automatically know that this feels good. The women, I think the Amish have a heads up on that because they wear a long dress and they can pee and go right back to gardening. But we have such a goofy society. The truth is not, what is it? Death is a rhyme, the truth is a crime. You can get a ticket for peeing on the ground, so much easier. I think I wish I wear a skirt. Well, that wouldn't work. Oh. I guess I just have to risk getting caught.
Wear wide pant legs. Wear wide pant legs.
Yeah, right. When I used to take people out to Southern California for some special treatment for cancer, you got 1 week and you need to save their life. We would take these ill people, and we'd haul them out to the ocean, make them walk in the sand. They'd almost get where they would tolerate that. And then when they got in the ocean, they just scream and complain and whine about getting cold, and it's might tip over and I could drown, there could be a shark, And we do that about 3 times in a week. We saw tremendous benefit. We had some 1-week turnarounds. You don't have to go to the ocean, although it's kind of fun. You can stay home and pee. Try that in LA, see if you get away with it. I can, because I've got a homeless card. Is that what you want me to share? You girls got to see this thing we got. If somebody tells you a joke here, you'll start laughing. How can we do this? This is too difficult. You ever see a laughing cow? I can see the cats going nuts over this thing. I gotta give you one of these. You can't even check it.
Put it in a pail of water.
That's fun, more fun than Billy Bass by a long shot. Well, I think we've covered most of what I intended to. We're gonna have another hit and myth series at some point. I've got 3 more chapters put together. And thanks for recording that, because we'll probably pull that off and turn that into some written pages. We have some product to share in the back here. If you have any questions, come catch us. I'll be kind of milling around, and you come with your special questions. And then we'll plan another one hopefully yet this year.
Look through your chart, Clay.
What's that?
Look through your chart if there's anything else you need to share.
What time is it?
3:40.
Wow, we did so good today. When you get discouraged when you try to share good news, you might remember this one. I put this together years ago, SW4. Some will, some won't, so what? Somebody's waiting. That's what's kept me going all these years. Somebody's waiting. And here is another. This is your mid chart. My chart's in the morning. Oh. She knows there's more stuff that I haven't shared. But seriously. This really helps when we can latch onto this little truth as a, especially when people are ill. You came here as a spirit being to have a human experience, not as a human being to have a spiritual experience. You're a spirit being, and I can introduce you to some stories and examples of people even living in South Dakota who live in the spirit being world so well that nothing formed against them prospers. And the stories are so bizarre, it's only certain people can handle. When the supernatural touches with the human, something good happens. We've been referring to this all day, but only in bits and pieces. The standard American diet, SAD. So here's what causes us to lose our hydrochloric acid, so we end up with indigestion and a sick body. At the top would be, if you ever, I think still water at the top, which is acidic. It's about a 4 on the acid scale. So there's a place for it, but it's only for medicinal or for your iron in our world. If you vomit, where would you get more hydrochloric acid from? Well, used to get hydrochloric fixings every day because we'd eat something pickled, except for dill pickles. What'd you have pickled this week? Anybody? Pickled beets, pickled okra, pickled what? What'd you have pickled? Used to be before refrigerator, everything was pickled or canned. So it's no wonder we're suffering as a society. How are we going to put back our hydrochloric acid? If you do soda pop, you just totally wrecked it. Soda pop is so acidic. On the pH scale that I have here, you drink 1 can of pop, you'll have to drink 40 equal glasses of alkaline drinking water, if you could find it, to get back to where you were before you drank that 1 pop. I'm from China. Okay. I don't have a can of pop on here, but when I put a can of pop, it's down here in the 1s to 2s. Battery acid comes in about 3. Anything below 7 is going to be harmful and acidic to the body. Acid to the body is pain. Pain is acid. Acid is pain. Pain is acid. If you hurt, you got acid. If you got acid, you hurt. It's not a deficiency in Tylenol or aspirin or Excedrin or ibuprofen or Midol. It's acid. And taking more acid to fix acid, that's not very smart. That'd be like you've got a hole in something, shoot another hole with it and fix it. Okay, battery acid comes in about 3.2. All of your soda pops that I have tested are more acidic than battery acid. And we know how powerful that is to the skin. Yeah, we're taking acid internal. Distilled water comes in about 4. Some tap water is about 6. Ideally, if we can get alkaline drinking water, we can cause the body to heal faster. Yeah, good for you. Let me finish it. So, if you want to have a life without pain, you cut out the soda pop, the sport drinks, the sugar drinks, the medications, the sugar pastries, and try to cut back on meat. Because meats are very acidic. Every case I ever get of gout is because they're a meat eater. Especially a red meat eater or a pork eater. Pork, you can break pork down to 72 hours, beef 36 hours, poultry 19 hours, fish 6, veggies 4, bread 3. So if you have a ham sandwich, is any one of your stool stinks? Your bread doesn't come out for 60 some hours, it's already been putrefied. Crap, coffee, refined sugar, alcohol, processed foods, and then don't enrich in bromate. Bromate is a poison. I used to work for Pillsbury. I was a millwright. Part of our job was to take out these skull and crossbones, round cardboard boxes with this lid on them, skull and crossbones, bromate. And I asked the people at Pillsbury, how come we have to put this poison in the flour that people are going to eat? Well, if you didn't, the parasites wake up and you'd have worms in it. And I thought, yeah, that's right. We used to sift out the worms. Anybody get to do that growing up? At the flour bin in the kitchen, and you'd sift out the worms in the hard cases? I guess I live in a different world, but we had sifters, and we used to fight over who got to sift the flour from around. It was kind of fun. It was very mechanical. Well, they put the bromate in there, which is a deadly pesticide, so that when the berry is broken into and ground up, those eggs hatch. The eggs hatch and grow worms, but they don't get big enough for you to see because they're laying in poison. Well, you're eating that poison if you're eating white flour. So then we had stone ground flour. I said, how come we don't have to add bromate to the stone ground? And he showed me what's called an antilator. And the flour, the berry comes down, the ground flour comes on, hits this wheel that's going like 7,000 to 8,000 revolutions per minute. It gets spun, and the spinning of that from nothing with salt full of ground up aluminum. But because everybody does it, is Logan, you got any more cartoons to pass on? I'm gonna go through what affects the thyroid. Most people really wouldn't care at a young age what the thyroid, if the thyroid's good or bad, but they do care about having excess weight they can't get rid of. And so, that's the hot button for the younger. The older, it's the hot button so you don't have a heart attack. Yeah, here we go. This is Logan, handing out newspaper. Oh, you went to different color. I think some of these are kind of fun to have. If you came to my course, some of them are in your manual. Make sure Robin gets one to splice. This side is stress. You can't read it back here in the back room, so I'm going to read these up. Here's what makes it so ladies at all ages cannot lose weight. And a lot worse than that, but that's the outward thing. Like I mentioned, the Christmas trees hanging on your mirror. The earrings up the ears will make a lady have torqued thyroid. I've got it down here. Heart, Chernobyl, Fukushima. Meds, wreck thyroids. Fluorescent lights, unless they're full spectrum. We talked about that. TV screens, computer monitors. Perfumes and colognes just wreck the thyroid. I mean, it's putting petroleum right on your surface of your skin. It goes right into your cells, and you can't stop it. So we switch to healthier scents. Scented candles, potpourri. Scented air refreshers, plug-ins. Here's a real one to wreck your thyroid. Do you ever wonder why people do aspartame and get huge? I mean, you talk about obesity. Obesity is one of the main side effects of taking diet anything, whether it's diet food or diet pop or diet or Weight Watchers or whatever. It will just totally torque your thyroid to where you can't lose weight even if you go on a starvation diet. One of the side effects of the 90 of NutraSweet or aspartame is weight gain, convulsions, tachycardia, seizures, death. Oh, pick one, 90. Got more to go. Just because somebody wants to smell good and they get tricked in. If you see diet or light or fat-free, get rid of it. Don't even give it to your dog or cat. They probably won't eat it anyway. And then go ahead and wreck a landfill, okay? EMF, alarm clock. Electromagnetic frequency. Put your alarm clock 6 feet from your head. It'll torque your thyroid. It'll wreck it. Grid stress, ley lines, air flight, chemtrails, radiation, mammograms, microwaves, x-rays, and then it got down here, earrings up the ears, especially. Relief. This list is going to keep getting longer because we need more solutions than that. I've got more studying on the thyroid. Adjustments, chiropractic adjustments can do a lot to help the thyroid if it's out. Celtic salt or the gray salt, kelp, dulse, coconut oil, thyroid tuner. We have some back energy balancing massage. We have a lady we really like. She was going to be here this weekend. Didn't make it. DNA repair, which is what we use this for. Somehow this goes in and gives back the messages that have been damaged by vaccination especially. And then also by NutraSweet. The biggest offender today for multiple sclerosis used to be the silver fillings. Today it's NutraSweet. Aspartame, diet pop. There's one of the main side effects. One disease. Full spectrum fluorescent, prayer, meditation. Get into REM sleep, where your eyes are moved, rapid eye movements, so REM sleep. In fact, when the thyroid is messed up, people have trouble sleeping. One of the things that you can tell when they're starting to heal is they're starting to sleep better. Left, right, cross crawl, that's left, right brain work. And that's another thing we can explain. Exercise, magnetics, essential oils. herbal drops. We have a $4,000 machine called MRS 2000, real good for it. And I put down dill pickle juice. If we can get the hormones working, the digestion working, so that we can pull out from our food to feed the hormones. Hormone interrupters. In fact, almost everything on this site is a hormone interrupter, which is why we have to have the thyroid and the heart are directly connected. But what they've done to mess with that is they've told us we've got to watch out for our cholesterol. Cholesterol wrecks the hormone balance. Hormone balance gets off, the thyroid's off. The master computer is the thyroid. It has to be put back in tune for the heart and the hormones to work. Any wonder why we're such a mess? Any questions on that?
Was that a thyroid, the box you had earlier? Explain what that does.
Okay. If you ever had someone take a pitch pipe before they start the band or to sing, you hear them blowing into the, and then you hear them, people bring their instrument, or sometimes they'll take their reed out of their saxophone and lick it again, to get to that perfect sound, or tune. Okay, what this does, this puts out a 7.83 hertz frequency of a healthy body. When the body's healthy, this is the frequency it runs at. The problem with the thyroid is it may have been years since it was healthy. So while this is on you, whether it's 10 minutes or an hour or for 10 hours, while this is on you, your thyroid gets to go back to in tune, or at least take a break and quit fighting with everything that's off from the perfumes, the colognes, all the stuff you mentioned, all right? So while this thyroid tuner is on you, your thyroid is going back to pitch, back to frequency, back to 7.83. And I can speak for me, I don't understand it, but I have these stories where people have gotten well, the thyroid, and start to lose weight, cold hands, cold feet disappear. The sleep patterns start to clean up so they can actually fall asleep, fall asleep and stay asleep. In fact, if you need to, you sleep with an on until your thyroid gets tuned. And it gets knocked out on a daily basis. If you do any microwave food, you just wrecked it.
That's something you should do weekly or monthly or daily or?
Depends on how much you torture yourself. If you're working a job like where there's people wearing perfumes, you're wearing like a bank, or like some hospital where everything is electrical and there's all this EMF and these LED lights, you probably need to do it every day if you could. You fit it in. That's why we suggest you put it in the car, you plug it in a cigarette lighter, while you're driving to work, you got your thyroid tuning for the day. That's where we're getting the best results. But if you're still eating radiated food, microwave food, which is radiation, I might have shared with some people yesterday, I don't think I did today, but I have a friend who's got a salvage business where he buys scrap and then crushes it and takes it to American Iron down in St. Paul area. American Iron got so dinged because somebody's going to buy a barge of their scrap iron and somebody had thrown microwaves into it and had them crushed. And they're reading radiation off of crushed microwaves. And the whole barge was like, nobody wanted to handle it. No country wanted to buy this barge of scrap because somebody threw microwaves in there. We're talking about old, they probably lay in the scrapyard for 5 years, crushed finally, and now they're leaking radiation like crazy. So when he takes a load of scrap down, or buys scrap, he has to be careful he doesn't have any microwaves in there. And so when they come out to buy his load of scrap metal, they come out in hazmat white uniforms with stuff on, with Geiger counters, checking to see if you've got microwaves on your oh, it's okay to have them in your house, and worse yet, radiate the food, turn it into nuclear waste?
And people stand there looking in and see if the water's boiling now.
Yeah, while they're cooking their brain and wrecking their thyroid. Now, nobody really cares unless they get overweight. What can I do? You know, just, the thyroid is master computer. It's like, reboot your hard drive. Bring it back up to frequency.
The Japanese radiation, will that affect the thyroid just like everything else?
It is, I believe that Fukushima is why this area of the earth right now, almost everybody in this room has thyroid stress if they live around Sioux Falls. Just a fluke thing that we happen to pick Sioux Falls.
This was also the first nuclear plant in the nation. It only ran for a very short time. Just down the road, 10 miles.
I don't think you had any in South Dakota.
You did for very long, down in Brandon.
See, now, I never knew that.
That's the first one in the country.
And it's still setting?
So, shut down in a very short time.
What'd they do with nuclear waste?
20 years later, they dismantled it and hauled it away.
And who'd they haul it to?
I have no idea.
See, it's wrecking your thyroids. That's the bottom line, is your thyroid. So, we're not gonna be able to clean up the mess in a hurry in Fukushima, if ever. So we're gonna have to protect ourselves. I'd like to have somebody build a smaller building so it looks more like jewelry, but you know, people that worry about looking good, they go off and survival of the fittest. Okay, I've never seen thyroid stress like you got right here, ever.
Between here and Brandon, you go about 3 blocks north, straight west, east rather. That's, I go right along the
We've
river.
been trying to guess if it was the Vogel Pink, some kind of paint company.
Yeah, that's Diamond Vogel.
Yeah, we don't know what it is. You guys live here, you gotta put up with it. The best we can offer is good salt and a tuner. This will still be good as long as there's 12 volts anywhere. We plug it into a car battery. It's just 12 volts. I'm glad you made it 12 volts, so it's good, can be used in the car. When we were talking earlier about taking care of the liver, I did cover this a whole lot, but the liver is the organ that also determines your health. If you hug the liver, take care of the liver, the body heals. And so I got a list of, and some of you like herbs, dandelion, thistle, burdock, Swedish or horseradish. We use horseradish to get rid of headaches. Get this stuff that just bites your head. Or wasabi. Because most all headaches are, first off, they're by water dehydration, water deficiency, but most of them are poor digestion. And undigested protein gets broke loose, it's plugging up the liver, and when the liver's got undigested protein, you get migraines. If there's too much of it. Little kids that are colicky, migraines. That costs about 10 cents to clear that. Nobody here has any colicky kids, so we won't cover that unless you have a colicky grandkid that you don't want to babysit. Anyway, radicchio, radish, artichoke, Oregon grapefruit. We used to use golden seal as a standard for cleaning up the liver, but it's gotten so expensive and it's quite rare because they use it to pass drug tests so they get employed. And it works, or you wouldn't see it gone. Used to be like $10 a pound, now it's over $150 a pound. If you want to make a lot of money and have an oak grove, you would plant ginseng. 6 years from now, you'd have a nice crop, and they'd pay premium for. It wouldn't be wildcrafting, but it's so hard to come by. Golden seal is so bitter that if you ever take it, you'll never forget its taste. If you get a drop on a countertop, you can't get the yellow on the countertop. Anybody ever take golden seal? have their own. Swedish bitters, lemons are not a bitter, but they do help the liver break up the grease. That's why we do the gallbladder flush with liver gallbladder flush with olive oil and fresh lemons. That combination goes in and just kicks out the stones. We've had some people over 150 to 2,000 stones. Someone that has a few the size of your thumb, those are worth collecting. Big jewelry on those. And we leave grapefruit alone. Don't use grapefruit for anything that I think there might be some cleanses where they use it and get away with it, but it's severe chance to reverse your polarity if you do grapefruits. You have reverse polarity, we straight up, grapefruits usually will knock you right back to where you were. Okay?
Does that happen to everybody or just to certain people who can't handle it?
Well, you can tell who can't handle it. There'll be the people that just love it.
You say they'll do what?
The people that are in trouble just love grapefruits, and they can't seem to leave them alone. They'll have reverse polarity almost every time.
Well, I used to eat lots and lots of grapefruit, I did.
I recommend it. For those of us that had severe reverse polarity, our number one choice of drink is grapefruit juice. And I've had many cases where we straightened polarity, I forget to tell them, goes back and they went back to their grapefruit juice and they're back to Western medicine doesn't even like grapefruits. It messes with the, when they use petroleum drugs, which are all drugs of petroleum, it upsets the predictability of the drug. It's like overdose.
No, but I would order 2 boxes of grapefruit and I would eat 2 every morning. I can't say it ever bothered me. I thought it was good for me.
You know, just,
So it must not
so
be.
you can prove to me something I don't know.
I don't know.
You avoid them. You get by without them.
When your polarity is reversed, you crave grapefruit.
When you're what?
When your polarity is reversed, you crave grapefruit.
Really?
Yeah, it's an addiction. I had it. I thought it was just me. Till we helped clean up a bunch of people with reverse polarity. And they said it doesn't hold. Then I forgot to tell them. Spent some good time on the phone just talking about grapefruits.
No.
For people that are struggling with maintaining correct polarity, if we have them avoid grapefruit, we correct their polarity, and we teach them how to do it themselves. If they find that they start to crave grapefruit again, something has shifted and their polarity is reversed again. Usually they have to come back and get help in order to reverse their polarity and make it hold again. But that's one of your key signals, is that if you're craving it, to get some assistance or try to reverse it yourself. Make sure you're hydrating, but avoid the grapefruit. I know that I have problems with mine if I start to crave grapefruit. Then I go see your doctor.
And I'm out in the shop, but you can't bring.
What other symptoms are there if your polarity is messed up?
Nutrition seems like a waste of time. Medications can upset you. Maggots will take you off. But the worst polarity one, you can't wear a wristwatch. You kill it. You will just kill it. Take days for it to wake up and get sent on the shelf. A lot of welders and electricians have reverse polarity. They've been getting shocks.
If you drink coffee at night and it helps you sleep, that's reverse polarity. It works.
Yes.
Yeah, it works backwards to the way it's supposed to.
I'm gonna talk about leukemia is not cancer by anybody's stretch of anybody's imagination, whether you've got a brain or not. If you see the blood of leukemia, it's only leukemia that looks like leukemia, and cancer looks entirely different. Not anywhere on the same page. So to use chemical therapy that they use for cancer on leukemia is borderline criminal. I tell you, it just upsets me. Because leukemia comes from two sources. It is not a deficiency in spaghetti feeds. See this little, go to convenience store and almost every town has some little fundraiser for some little kid with their hair missing for leukemia or some rare disease, right? Or am I the one noticing that stuff? You just want to put your money in there to help the big clinics make sure they stay in business. The two sources of leukemia, you need to know this because somebody in your world is going to be diagnosed, and if you can somehow catch them before the world of change takes over. Leukemia is not a difficult thing to reverse. But it has two sources, and you have to deal with both sources if you expect that person to get well. I had a lady from Bemidji, Minnesota, years ago, and she came to me and she said, I have leukemia, and it's hereditary. And I said, whoa, that's a new one. I've never heard of hereditary properties given to leukemia. I said, who else in your family's had it? And she said her mom, her dad, and I think one brother. She's the fourth one to get it. And I said, yes, and they all lived in that same house, right? In some part of life, yeah. I said, tell me about the power lines outside. She said, how do you know? I said, you just told me. You said it's hereditary. I said, you find somebody you hate and give him your house. She hated her nephew. She gave him the house. He'll be the next one to die of leukemia. She saved her life by giving her house away. Another case happened out of Black Duck, Minnesota. Little girl, 5 years old, came to me with leukemia. They had her on two types of chemo when I found her. And we made up the herbs, like what I have here. She graduated with one of the star athletes, real tall girl. But they moved from Black Duck about 95 miles and bought a house just so that I could treat them, teach them, help. Now, the other part of leukemia is a bent or a broken tailbone out of adjustment. You can have two people in the same house, and one gets leukemia and the other doesn't. The one that gets leukemia is one with the tailbone issue. And I'll tell you why. It's so third grade simple if you're a little bit mechanical. Everything that moves water, or moves hydraulic oil, or moves a liquid is a pump. But one part of that pump has to be stationary and one part has to be moving, or you don't have a pump. Did I just go over somebody's hairspray? So if we're going to move water, you're going to have a stationary plate and you're going to have an impeller that's moving to push the water. So you're going to have something stationary, something moving. So when you go for a walk and your tailbone is correct, when you take a step, the right side pump, you take a step, the left side pump, left, right, left, right. The tailbone is a stationary portion, but every time that you take a step, you're squeegeeing, pushing lymphatic sewage to this little bony hole. It's kind of like feels like a floor drain. Well, that's your lymphatic drain. So if their tailbone is off to the side, neither side is working. And so when you look at leukemia underneath the microscope, instead of being red blood, it'll be a little bit of red around the edges of the drop, but it'll be yellow cooking grease. It looks just like a yellow, almost the color of your shirt, Lizzie. It'll be yellow, and there is nothing I've ever seen on thousands of slides that looks like leukemia, but leukemia. Because it's your sepsis, you become your own septic tank, you become full of your own lymphatic sewage. So what we have to do is try to get the tailbone put back together and get them to leave the electrical influence that's causing the trouble. The influence could be power lines outside. Farmers have had a lot of trouble with high power because of needing for the milk houses and stuff like that. I had the one couple that we've ever lost, if you're gonna put it that way, with leukemia. I trained under a doctor out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he had, his husband and wife both had leukemia, which is so unusual. It is not catching, it doesn't run in the family, it's power line interference. What had happened, they came through these 75 kW wooden pole lines right through the back of their yard on their farm down in western Oklahoma. Both had leukemia. And Dr. Myers had trained me, he said, you're gonna have to sell your farm to save your life. He said, we can't do that. And later I found out what the rest of the story was. First off, that was their family farm. Do you want to be pushed off because somebody ran power lines in your situation, your farm? The other thing was, she didn't believe, they were in their 70s, and she felt that to sell something that detrimental to another human being, as a Christian person, she couldn't do it. So leukemia is part of our world because of all the electrical devices. That's why we want you to get the clock away from your head. Your alarm clock can be 6 feet away at least. Now, it may not get you right away. The one thing about dis-ease, we tolerate it in stages until finally we can't anymore. Leukemia doesn't go away because you take chemo or radiation. Never has, never will. Wrong diagnosis in the first place. I mean, the wrong chemical therapy should never be used on anybody, for sure not leukemia. Any questions on leukemia?
Dr. Moraine said, you know, if you think that's hereditary or because your mother had breast cancer or so on down the line, you believe that's true, how come the Japanese, very little breast cancer, just bring them over to the United States, put them on the American diet of breast cancer?
On that line, two things to avoid so that you're not going to be sick anywhere with breast cancer. The two number one things they found that's very predictable on breast cancer in Americans, if they got anger towards their mother, they're going to have a tough time getting off the planet without breast cancer. But there's a doctor in Germany that focuses on breast cancer cases, and he told his help to keep track of the next 100 breast cancer clients that came to their office to check which root canal they had. 98 out of 100 had the very same root canal. We have the charts back in the clinic that show which tooth that is, but
Short circuits your body.
yes, every tooth is connected to an organ, every organ is connected to a tooth. There's no part of this body that stands alone. I'm tripping along through life with no cavities, having good teeth, and all of a sudden, after I had left lung disease, I had tumors all through the left lung. One day, I'm getting ready to go on a kind of a mission trip thing to Trinidad, Barbados, and Grenada. And I get a broken tooth from here going to Minneapolis. And it's just hurting terribly. The tooth had just up and died on me. It's emergency surgery, acupuncture on the airplane. I mean, this other doctor traveled. We had acupuncture needles. The last time I took any drugs was at some kind of Tylenol codeine, and it wasn't even began to cover the pain. She stuck needles in my knee through my pants, and I had no pain in the mouth ever again from that tooth. The stewardess comes back and says, "You better get those out of here. Somebody could get hurt." And I thought, yeah, who would get hurt with acupuncture needles but me? You try to tell them. And that just a moment, but it worked. That's just a side note. And later I got looking at the tooth chart. The exact tooth that fell out, broke, just died, and a piece broke off was left lung on the chart. It's like, whoa, I better go back and pay attention to whatever I read in the past. So root canals are extremely dangerous. It's like, would you like to have somebody about the size of a football field full of cow manure or some kind of human feces dump it in your mouth at once? One root canal has enough poison your life until that tooth is pulled out. Root canals are our biggest no-no for anybody.
Yeah, if it ain't done right, it still could be in your jaw, and
In
it's still
fact,
not there.
it's probably still gonna be in your jaw anyway. We have a dentist who's very serious about this. Some of you've been to, anybody else see Fred, you've been to Fred? But if your dentist is still pushing certain root fillings, you just hang up on them, chew them out like I do, and then hang up. If they're still doing root canals, you better keep going. I'd rather see you chew without the tooth than have a dead root canal rotting teeth that's wrecking your life. Root canals will put you on. I tell people, and Fred doesn't like this, but that's because I know who he is and a couple like him. You spend more care and research picking a dentist than you do picking a spouse. And I'm not kidding. The spouse can give you tough luck and trouble and you can get a divorce. A lazy dentist will cause death. They're not just somebody that pull teeth and make money. There are some that are passionate about their program, and believe me, when it comes to a dentist, you don't cut corners. So we tell people, we're going to La Crosse, Wisconsin, to see our dentist. I say, what do you go there for? I said, because I don't want to have to drive to the mail. What do you mean? If I get lazy and pick a local dentist, or actually I said, to lady in Thomas, I said, you pick a local dentist, you get to drive to the mail and try to save your life. I was just being sarcastic, it doesn't do any good to try to tell the rest of the story. So I was just practicing in case you get somebody legitimate.
Isn't there a fungal connection with leukemia?
Is there a what? Fungal? Back to what I said, that's a really good question, Dave, because if it matches up like, if you want to treat disease, like disease, in other words, body's not happy, disease. Any place that you have acidosis going on, you're going to have disease, which would be pain, and you're going to have decay. And decay, any decaying matter, the fungus has to show up. God's program is not going to change because we can pray better or whatever. Everything on the planet has to be broke down back to the dust of the earth. And fungus shows up after something's already died. And with leukemia, your whole system is old, rotting lymphatic sewage. A lot of room for fungus, believe me, because everything in there should have been out years ago and now stuck in there because of electrical interference or the tailbone.
But there again, if you would be eating decent, feeding that body every day, which nobody is, your body can fight off to a certain point.
Fight off almost everything.
But everybody in America might say are malnutrition big time.
Yep.
So we are candidates for anything that's coming, and there's a lot more to come.
When I started helping people in high school, we were like, I think, 7th or 8th sickest nation in the world.
Worse than that.
We're 37 nations, there's 36 nations that are healthier than us. How many more hospitals do we have to build so we can become 46th instead of 37th? And pretty soon all the third world countries will be healthier than us because we don't have food. We poison our food so it can sit on the shelf. We don't grow it, we genetically modify it. And then we have to have all these trinkets and these toys and all this plastic and all this petroleum and all this hurry up stress lifestyle because I have to have it because why? I want it. We don't have much needs in America, we just have wants. Big difference.
I hauled manure for my son-in-law, big hog barns, and my wife made a thermos bottle with a plastic one. You know where I'm going. Put coffee in there. I leave 6 o'clock in the morning, 9, 10, I'll take a sip of coffee. Tastes like shit. She don't know how to make coffee. I throw it out. Next morning I get some more. Same thing.
Plastic.
So, yeah, I didn't say nothing to her. Next morning she made it, I got outside and threw it out. I went to a restaurant, where I always go have breakfast every morning. I called down the table. I said, fill this up with coffee.
Yeah.
Then I got out in the field, 10, 11, 12 o'clock, I took some, same thing. Oh, it's not Mary, it's not the coffee shop, it's the plastic.
plastic, it'll tell you how much petroleum leaching you're getting. I didn't bring a milk. The most leaching of all the plastics are white plastic 1 gallon milk containers. They put so much estrogen to cause cancer into the milk, it even makes the milk last longer. So, this is a number 1, which is why we saved it.
Which number's worse, 7?
7 is the worst.
Yeah.
1 and 2 are pretty safe. After that, we try to leave it alone. This is the 1.
How about those seal bottles when they're in?
Yes, and I would like to change some of that. They're not a 1, they're a 2. To be a 1, it would be quite clear.
Humans are making the stuff for products.
1.
Humans screw up. That's all you gotta remember. You can't trust anybody.
I wouldn't be quite that cold.
Well,
I trusted myself last week, I found out I'm not trustworthy.
Well, I asked you a few questions. I don't trust you to a certain point too.
Well,
You're listening.
I lost my hair a long time.
No, you've been going a long time that way.
Yeah.
You gotta make a little change.
Okay. I brought this along for a reason. This is not a Bud Light, this is a Bug Light. You seen a Bug Light before? No? This makes bugs go crazy. This bugs the bug. For those of you that been tripping along, running into challenges, and you wonder what could be the problem, a yellow bug light is profound in stirring up trouble in the body. If you've got parasites in the body, especially tapeworm, I've had case after case where somebody comes to me and the wife usually because they listen, then I have hepatitis, eagle, as you got out. And the way, I remember one particular case, I still remember where she's from, what town, because I told her, you did the blood work, I said, you got tapeworm. Didn't want to hear it. I said, are you thinking about how you're going to convince your husband that you came to the fact that you have worms? How did you know? I said, here's what you do. You take this bug light home, pull up his shirt, have him lay down, turn it on, and watch the baby kick. I said, watch the tapeworm kick. She did it, and he got convinced. He came back to have blood work. But I remember I used to travel to Winnipeg, and they brought in this old elderly grandma in a wheelchair, and probably about 7 or 8-year-old boy said, grandma's pregnant. I said, really? He goes over and lifts up grandma's belly, and it's really extended, just like a third world country. Really extended. Sure enough, she's pregnant. The worm is kicking. Now, the yellow bug light makes you a believer that Americans have tapeworm. I've done about 4,000 plus slides since I got the microscope, and I have found less than a handful that did not have tapeworms. For you to not have a tapeworm, you'd have to be sitting here like under the influence of chemotherapy where you're nearly dead. You'd probably be laying down. Or you've been using something to get rid of them. So we use diatomaceous earth and the bug light. Now you can get it in pill form called Clean Review, but I've had tremendous, I'm sorry, I guess I am strange. I think it's funny. Americans think they're so cute and so clean and so spiffy this, and we're so smart. Parasites are for third world countries. Oh, really? Okay, so the people from the third world countries come here to visit, go to college, whatever. They get to the customs agents at the border, and the worms are in such fear of our lifestyle here that they just automatically dump themselves out or die before they get across the border. How do we ever get worms in this country? It can't be. Paul Harvey announced a 63-footer, which is like some kind of a record, in America before he passed away, just like four years ago. Announced a 63-foot tapeworm out of an American. There's a 48-footer that was from an American that's kept down in the clinic in Public in most of the people have like 3 tapeworms. And they are, talk about, you know when you feed the horses, they get selfish? Tapeworms are so selfish. There'll be one dominant and maybe two shorter ones. Now, see, I love talking about hormones. It irritates everybody. But we use diet to raise serve, take it before bed, turn on the bug light, and give them a bad hair day. Now, I don't know that we'll ever really get rid of tapeworms. We'll make them shorter. We might get rid of 2 out of the 3, but they have a tremendous ability to survive. In fact, before we came up with the bug light and diet to raise serve, other than high-charged poison, we had no way to get rid of tapeworms unless you talked to grandma or grandpa, and they talk about when they were a little girl that somebody would not feed them for 2 or 3 days, and then they'd set their little butt on warm milk, and the mother would gently pull that tapeworm out. If you got too quick, or if the little kid got spooked and picked up the butt, and the temperature change of the air from the warm milk was enough, that tapeworm would sever itself and it'd go right back in, and all you get was a piece.
Okay, I had tapeworm. And 12, 15 years of age, every so often I could be sores on my mouth. Never associated, didn't know what it was coming from. It was coming from dairy. Anytime, you know, it might go like, for a week I might want to eat popcorn every night and watch TV, or two. Then all of a sudden Mary buys a gallon of ice cream. She's down on the computer. So I watch her TV program, news or whatever. So I get a breakfast bowl and I put 4, 5, 6 dips of ice cream in there, put chocolate on it, eat, and the program's so damn good. The ice cream's gone. Mary down on the computer, put 2, 3 more dips in there, eat it. Day or so later, boom, I got my sore. And if I didn't take garlic immediately, I found out if I took garlic, 4 or 5 capsules, in 10 minutes the swelling would be down. 4 or 5 hours, 3, 4 hours later, come back. So what I learned, once that come, I had to do it every 2 hours. But I didn't realize that all of a sudden when I quit the ice cream, that it quit coming too.
You understand why that works like that?
Huh?
You understand why the dairy was doing that?
Well, anyway, so I get checked out and I have the hookworm. Anyway, he said you put 10 drops of eucalyptus upon each one of your feet. And come back in 6 weeks, you should be gone. And I come back 6 weeks later. pills, but I'm juicing every day, I'm doing everything the same, taking that pill. Got a little book about that tall, opens it up, that's what it's coming from, we gotta get you on a steroid. I said, no. She said, Harold, if we don't get you on a steroid, you're a candidate for gangrene. Now she's sold by my daughter. Well, I thought if I take that, I know I gotta follow up with a probiotic to counteract that crap. She said, if we don't take care of this here, you get gangrene, we're gonna cut your legs off. They weren't good. So I agreed to take the steroid. On the way home, Mary's reading the poop sheet on it. If you got athlete's foot, do not take it, it will get worse. I said, Mary, throw the damn things out the window. I should have threw the first pills out the window.
You still got your legs.
Yes. So, oh, Harold, just calm down, I'll call her. I said, Mary, I don't give a damn, I should have never did the first thing what I did. Should have practiced what I tell people. Go to the natural place, see what they got, see what the side effect is for that. Well, I just quit arguing, she called her up, doctor said, don't worry about his legs getting worse, we gotta worry about gangrene, give you the scare tactic. I did not, I said, get the natural book on. She opened it up to athlete's foot, number one thing was tea tree oil, number two was oregano oil, number three was garlic, number four was echinacea, and so on down the line.
And no harmful side effects.
Right, no, I didn't. Anyway, so I had tea tree oil from when we were in Australia, so I started putting tea tree oil on. That night my daughter-in-law comes home. Harold, why'd you use garlic? How? Well, she said, just chop it up. I said, well, you chop it up. Well, I ain't gonna touch your girl's feet. I said, I'll take care of that. So she chopped it up and it gets real oily. Put it between my toes and I put a stockings on, so I wouldn't spread it all over the house. Then I got my string out and I doused whether I should take it internally. 9 capsules an hour. So my wife had to make up a whole bunch of pills where we get the guard in bulk from Jerry. I took 9 every hour. And if I went over an hour and 15 minutes before I took the next 9, my legs would start itching. So all let's see, garlic kills virus, bacteria, or fungus. So you're covered better than any damn drug.
The main ingredient is sulfur.
Sulfur.
So
Anytime you see help for anything, it's always got sulfur.
And it also causes reconnective tissue, and if you got athlete's foot going on, especially if it's.
I took 216 garlic pills in 24 hours.
Boy, those bugs
I
are
had to be
awesome.
right. Well, then I wanna go to cafe. So I thought, well, I better quit. Well, I think I could have quit for 3 days, I still would have smelled. And I asked the guy, did you smell anything? Well, the actor, no, so I did. Well, here, a few years later, I asked him, yeah, we had a fumigate complaints every time you left. Well, anyway, I had 26 things wrong with me besides the hookworm that I had and stuff. And when I went back to Cochran to get checked out with Norman Cradle, he said, what in the world have you been doing? Didn't say nothing. I said, why you asked? Well, he said, you got rid of 21 of the 26 things, and how I do it with the oils that don't happen that fast, because sometimes you'll have allergic reaction. I still didn't tell him that. And he was a little funny. He said, you got any open sores on your body? I said, what did you say? And I was thinking about how I was going to tell him how I took all this garlic that happened in between from I was there the first time. So, you got any open sores in your body? I said, my feet weren't quite up. I had sandals on. Oh, we got something for that. Well, I don't, but she does. So I was silver. I said, well, give me some. Before I had machine.
So the dermal screener,
Huh?
somebody do a dermal screen or radiology?
I know it's cytotechnology. You're hooked to a computer,
Yeah.
and the computer reads you and blah, blah, blah.
That's dermal screening, it reads through your
I
skin.
don't know what, anyway, it's unreal. Anyway, he gets done, I says, I got rid of 21 of the 26 things because I took so much garlic. He said, yeah. Well, I went home, I felt so good, I only had 5 left. We went to Sturgis, Mary and I, and friends with motorcycles and stuff, and I started eating dairy, ice cream, strawberry, and all. He told me, stay away from dairy until we get rid of your parasites. They thrive on dairy, what I had. He said, don't eat any dairy. Well, I started eating strawberry malts or a strawberry sundae. Then before I go to bed at night, I relief topped her off in her motorhome. I cut off 3/4 I get back going to him again, Cochran. He said, what in the world have you been doing? You've been cheating, haven't you? You eat dairy. Oh, I said, I hate strawberry malts, I hate ice cream, and I hate Velveeta cheese. Harold, you can't lie, this machine doesn't lie. He said, you're worse now than when you first came here. I told you to stay off the dairy until you're rid of it. Dairy, I don't like dairy.
You see, this cow would laugh at you if you call ice cream dairy.
This what?
This cow would laugh at you if you call ice cream dairy.
That's, well, ice cream is dairy.
Ice cream has almost nothing in it that's dairy. In fact, do you know how ice cream is ice cream? So
They got some milk in it.
yeah, converted,
got that.
pasteurized, homogenized,
And then they got
colorized, neutralized.
Then they got.
Poison.
They got the, what do you call it?
But so everybody else gets the benefit.
Antifreeze in it and stuff.
Yeah, you hit on it. Well, I was gonna share, how come ice cream doesn't get hard? You freeze water at 32, it gets rock hard. Why doesn't ice cream? It's full of propylene glycol, it's got antifreeze, the same stuff that kills a dog if it drinks it is in your ice cream. You can't have any ice cream without it unless you make it yourself, homemade.
Right.
Okay,
Two things that work quite well, getting back to the tapeworms, is cream of tartar. I don't know how much, but cream of tartar and pumpkin seeds.
Cream tartar for what?
tapeworm, pumpkin seeds.
Oh. Well, I used eucalyptus. Oh, then when it got worse, he said, we gotta take you off eucalyptus. You gotta use something stronger. Rosemary oil. So instead of 10 drops of eucalyptus on each foot, I had to put 14 drops of rosemary oil on. And I got rid of it.
What we do, because I have to see people, and they're not quite as disciplined as you, we use a frequency generator and we explode them. And we take the pressure off the tapeworm so they can go have a life. Fibromyalgia people just don't have a life till you shorten the tapeworm. And full moon, you know, you can tell if someone's overrun by parasites because in full moon they'll be worse. They get moody, they get skin rashes, they get some,
Well, that's almost everybody.
Domestic.
Except the cops.
yeah. Well, the cops, they don't like going to domestic fights because people are insane. The extra ammonia that's pushing against the body because of parasites copulating and defecating and busy at full moon makes it so everybody that's under the influence of parasites, especially tapeworm, they're not the normal person. That's why we have the domestic fights, the bar fights and all that. Don't be mad at the full moon. Let's get rid of the parasites. I use a generator, frequency generator to explode.
Another, sorry, honey.
Go ahead.
Another thing that we do to combat parasites and tapeworm is the colon cleanse. As your body gets healthy enough to push out all the toxins the parasites don't want to live in your body because it's not acidic anymore.
How do
And
you know
start-
if somebody's got parasites?
Well, I look at the blood, but for a person that doesn't have a microscope, you check their moods, see if they change, if they're moody and angry and full moon.
That's where I like this vital technology. That's all when things
Use
up around
Nature's
Chester.
Earth.
Yeah, got a whole bunch of it.
Yep, that
That's
makes
what diatomaceous earth with a yellow bug light. If you just give them diatomaceous earth with your food or something, I feel that the parasites get to choose what they want to eat. If you bug them with pumpkins, which is yellow, squash is yellow. They used to have kitchens made out of yellow to keep the worms and parasites out of your kitchen. We've lost track of that. A yellow bug light frequency goes right through, that frequency goes right through and totally upsets and terrifies any kind of parasite. So now they're all over gasping for anything, and they take in a diatomaceous earth, which is like sharp glass to a junkyard dog with hamburger glass inside the glass is how you get rid of it. If you don't want, you got a mean dog that you need to get rid of but don't want to get sued for it, hamburger inside of glass inside a hamburger. Throw it to the dog, they go die. Well, the diatomaceous earth does the same thing to the parasite. It's like sharp glass, and they ingest it. How much you got?
I heard you say one lady. I didn't know if you said 180 or all one lady.
No, 145. I guarantee it.
I think it's 155, isn't it?
145.
145.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. And I guarantee it'll get you some benefit or I buy it back. Go Oplex. I'm not gonna talk much about that one. We only have one bottle.
There's still no reason not to tell them about it. You gotta tell them about it. You might order some. Pay attention, good salesman.
me tell you the main ingredient of the reason we use it. Peristaltic action in the bowels cannot happen unless you have potassium happening in your life. Because every muscle of the bowel has to act and squeeze in concert to have bowel movement come out. So you have to have sodium, magnesium, manganese, calcium, potassium, sodium, magnesium. In other words, each muscle to be strong has to have a different mineral. So we've got sodium, squeeze, sodium, squeeze, sodium, squeeze. We're missing potassium, magnesium, calcium, and so we have poor bowels. Well, just to add in the potassium makes it so people all of a sudden, they start moving stuff that's been in there a long time. And so we have to have a balance of minerals, but the biggest one missing in most people that I find concerning the bowels is potassium. So we really get a benefit from this, the go-out pumps. Now the next one is Bioflora. It is friendly bacteria and FOS, so that you can stop scours on calves or diarrhea on people, or make sure they don't get diarrhea and constipation are the same problem, shortage of friendly bacteria. We really like this one. This bottle's only $45,000. You know, is that right? It'll save, did I do the math right? 4,500, sorry. This bottle's only 4,500. That's what it's worth if you're a calf farmer. Sweet Sleep, help you sleep.
It works quite well.
I snores. We have proving ground, testing ground. If she can sleep, we found something that works. But I snore once or twice a night. Okay, Clean Review. This is our diatomaceous pill in a form that can help so you don't have to take the powder. This is our hydrochloric acid. We really like it because it's what's kept me being a nerd for all these years. Without hydrochloric acid, I'd be doing something where it makes more money because I have a lot of different ways to make a living. But this one I always come back to. This is our form of oxygen for the body. It heals the DNA like nothing I've ever seen. This came out about 4 years ago. It's been around for almost 20 now. It was originally designed, it was cleaning up cancer, and it was too effective. Food and Drug was going to buy it away from, or a pharmaceutical company was going to buy it away from the person who invented or owned the patent. Wrote him a great big check. Told him, if you cash that check now, you know you can't treat people with it. He said, I got 6 people who are going to die if I take them off of it. Let them die. That's when he severed his chasing Food and Drugs approval and getting it to the pharmaceutical world. Had a wake-up call that they're a bunch of phonies.
Tell them about the kid in the bubble and then the.
Yeah, the kid in the bubble. Never been in the bubble for most of his life. They gave him this ASEA. It healed his immune system, and he became an athlete. Another girl at age 15 had never had a digestion potential. She was fed with a feeding tube because we met the mother of that daughter. At 15, somebody said you should try this in her feeding tube, and she started to build a digestive system. At age 15, the mother had to teach her daughter how to chew food. None of you had to do that. No, I don't. Yeah, we've had so many miracles with this. If you gave me an option and I had to run out with something, it'd be microhydrate and this, and cayenne pepper. Okay, this is JHP. This is herbal peppermint triple distilled. It is so potent we use it for reversing asthma. You want to talk about it?
There's a Hotterite colony near us, and they order it by the cases. And what they do with it is they put it in the nebulizers. They take colloidal silver and 1 drop of the Japanese herbal peppermint, and they put that in the nebulizers, and they no longer need the prescriptions in the nebulizers to take care of the kids and the adults with asthma.
Yeah, we've helped many past asthma. This next one we call liquid sunshine vitamin D. Especially in the wintertime, we call it happy drops, because people that don't get in the sun don't make their vitamin D and they get very depressed. Times in the year 1997. Flax hull. This is the peeling of the flax, it's not the flax. This, if you ever heard of vitamin B17 or something called Latro, this makes peach kernel look like don't waste your time. The guy has such a stack of cancer reversal, especially prostate, breast, uterine, ovarian, cleaning up the estrogen dominance cancers, that when Merck offered him $100 million to get this off the market in 1996, that's back when 100 million was 100 million. Now it's 150 million to be the same purchasing power, but the $100 million, and believe me, his kids would like to have four-wheelers, like not be poverty. When I met him, the linoleum in his kitchen floor had wore off so long ago, and the boards were starting to get thin. So he could have used some 100 million, but he happens to have enough integrity because of all these people thanking him for saving their life with this flax product. He turned them down. The only reason Merck showed up to offer him 100 million is because the people, not just the estrogen dominant cancers, half the women, they use it for hot flashes. The hot flashes disappeared. And Merck didn't want competition, so they wanted to give him 100 million. Curtis is so down home, farm. He's got 2 pairs of, I think he might have more now, but he pretty much has, you know what day of the week it was, he had 2 pairs of bib overalls, his Sunday pair of bibs, and his work week pair of bibs. He never left the state of North Dakota until recently. He still will not get on an airplane. He'd rather be on the farm. He doesn't care if you want to try to buy his attention. He is not for sale. If you ever find me another friend that I can be friends with that has $100 million worth of integrity, please bring him on. He is a rare find, and you get to benefit because of it. This product, I'm going to share something I've never put on tape. But right away, back when, before the media solved the AIDS problem, do you remember when they talked about AIDS? Some of you are old enough, maybe you don't remember. But every single news report had something to do with AIDS. This is going to wreck the world. AIDS that is going to, AIDS this, AIDS that, AIDS. So when I run across some people that thought they had AIDS, we used flax oil, or we tried to. Well, African country where they have a lot of AIDS, which is tapeworm, runaway, parasites, hookworms. AIDS is nothing more than parasitical activity, holes in the colon, putting fecal matter into your bloodstream. Some people call it floating. But AIDS is nothing but leaky gut. And 1 tub in Africa was enough to clean up the leaky gut on any child with AIDS. And nobody cared. And he was going to donate thousands of tubs of flax hull to reverse AIDS in Africa, and nobody wants to know about it. AIDS is nothing more than fecal matter leaking into the bloodstream. And I learned that from the doctor who helped reverse a famous hero that was supposed to be the poster boy. Magic Johnson was supposed to die of AIDS, and so they were reversing AIDS back in Florida, back when it was first supposed to be famous and special. And because they were threatened, and the doctor that got me over cancer later, his life was threatened for reversing AIDS. His partners in meeting hotels and get these people over AIDS, when he came to see us in Oklahoma, when this doctor got back to Florida, they had assassinated his partner. He got scared and he left Florida in a hurry. That's what happens when you find cures for anything. Now, this doctor who was reversing it told me what AIDS is. And you need to hear this because otherwise it's going to get lost. AIDS is a new thing for an old problem called GRIDS. It used to be called gay-related immune deficiency syndrome. But it's not popular anywhere to pick on gays, so they don't call it gay-related immune deficiency syndrome. They call it AIDS. Now, yes, some of the AIDS is because of homosexual activity. But most of what's called AIDS is because of the tapeworm has hooks on its head, and when it slaps into you, it rips holes in your colon. It hurts like you're giving birth. And the problem with it is, it doesn't heal itself until you deal with the tapeworm. Now, I'm going to share with you what GRIDS is according to the guy who used to reverse it. And Magic Johnson is doing very well, by the way. He lives in Southern California. He drives a Rolls Royce. He's not dead like he's going to be the poster boy, so everybody would donate money. The reason for that is because, I'm going to regress this a bit. In 1950, when I was a little kid, my dad dad saw a limousine for the first time in northern Minnesota. He says, and the guy was coming to date his sister, my Aunt Violet. He said, oh, you're a family man. No, I'm single, no kids. What do you need a big car for? Well, my work gives it to me. Well, what's your work? Well, I work for cancer research. So my dad asked him, when there's going to be a solution for cancer? And the guy laughed at my dad and said, there will never be a cure for cancer until something more lucrative shows up, which would be AIDS. Anyway, AIDS is definitely related to GRIDS in some cases. GRIDS is when the head of the sperm is so potent, it has an enzyme so potent that it can penetrate one of the thickest membranes in the human. That's the egg to cause conception. The next thicker membrane is vaginal wall. The sperm dies before it gets through the vaginal wall. Otherwise, it'd be an invader that the body has to fight. But one of the thinnest membranes in the human body is the colon wall. And when you put sperm into the rectum, into the lower colon, it makes holes in the bottom of the colon like a sieve, and fecal matter leaks into your bloodstream. You get all these high protein counts, and they say, oh, you have AIDS. No, quit doing something that's not intended, and let's get rid of the tapeworm and then help with leaky gut. This is what we use for leaky gut. This is why it reversed the AIDS of those kids in Africa. It gives you a slippery, slimy internal lining. People say, well, why would I pay $32 for a small tub of flax? I can get a whole pound of flax for $3. All I can say is, you pull up at the gas station and argue with them, why would I pay you $3.59 for a gallon of gas? I can get a whole barrel of crude oil for $83. Ah, got me going, didn't it? Huh. Yeah, Grant, okay.
Before you start with Dave's table, the cleanse kit and laminine,
Oh,
which the cleanse kits are sold out.
we use a cleanse kit, it's $175, and there's so little profit on that. We earn our keep on those because people call us. And where's the laminine?
We don't have any laminine with, but we can tell people how to order it.
Laminine is an old thing that's been revisited. It'd be good for you guys to learn about it because I ran into this about in 1996. I was treating out of Canada, and people said, have you seen Dr. such and such? And Dr. such and such. I said, why would I see him? Well, he's got a new discovery that's reversing cancer left and right. I said, really? So they said, I said, what is it? They said, it's he takes incubated fertile chicken eggs, and he pulls out of the, this thing really makes noise. He pulls something out of the yolk, and he injects it intravenous, and it just cleans up cancer. I said, well, I'm interested, but I can't do intravenous in America and get away with it. So I left it be all these years. Well, the Health Ministry of Canada, which is like Food and Drug here, came down hard on him. But somebody took the dream and the vision and the product and put it into capsules, and sure enough, talk about reverse, especially tumors. My. I grew 3 tumors, not because I needed to, but just because it seemed to, we go through it so we can teach on it, I think, sometimes. Don't practice your own preaching part of it. Pull out of it, right? But anyway, I'll pick it up, Carol. I had one that was on top, one that was in the eardrum, and my head is going pump, and I'm losing my balance. And I had one deeper in that didn't go away. And the first treatment took out the one, the second treatment with the young liver was took out the second tumor. The third one was still in there, and about less than a year ago, I was on a ladder and I couldn't hang on. My world was turning. I lay in bed, it's like you grab the covers because everything just swimming. Well, that's from the house phone. His first 2 were from the cell phone, and I had 6,000 minutes one month. I remember, I thought, man, I talk a lot. And then the house phone, which cooks your brain like a microwave, way worse than a cell phone. The cordless house phone is worse, way worse. Way more megahertz. It cooked back in here somewhere, and so I could tell that I had an interference. And I took, somebody told me about the laminine. I took it, did I even take 2 bottles? I think maybe 2 bottles.
We noticed in the first one.
I noticed in the first bottle, I might take another just for good measure. but my whole right side got affected from the scar tissue.
What product are you talking about?
Laminine.
The product is laminine, but we don't have it.
A bottle up there.
Are you gonna get it?
Yes, in fact, we're part of the situation, but we also, we have,
We can tell you how to order it.
we can get you a brochure. I'm excited about that one for special uses, but I'm kinda like Harold over here. I don't wanna have to depend on pills. I wanna somehow keep gravitating towards organic, healthy food, so we don't always have to, what if they take the pills away from us? They're trying every year. Is you okay in there?
I don't know, did you?
Dave and I go back a far piece. I knew him before he had herbs. He's done well. He's doing good things. You guys, special things I need to share, and then they come back and talk to you?
Oh, the chaga is,
Is he on with that?
it's probably the world's most powerful antioxidant, and it's from a mushroom. And, it's something that, I just started harvesting here in the last year, and, Ralph Anderson said that he bought some chaga from one guy, and he said theirs was the best in the world. He tested mine, and he said mine tested stronger. So, anyway, there's a little information here if you somebody wanted to read it. But, and Ralph had checked all my herbs and so they all, tested that.
Okay, what I want to share with you, some of you don't know who Ralph Anderson is. And we lost a great person, was it a couple weeks ago? Was it 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks,
Yeah. Ralph Anderson is, nobody's ever gonna fill his place. He was one of these speakers that just kept you spellbound for hours. He had some coolest attitudes. I love I'll never forget some of his words, because he would stick it in the face of the AMA and Western medicine. Not afraid of him. He's not here anymore, but he's 62 years old, right? 66. And picture of health, and all of a sudden develops a heart attack. The one thing that Ralph, and I would like to share with Ralph, and I never got to, I wanted to tell him that he needed to be paying attention to what kind of salt he's eating. Because he had a thing for a while, he wouldn't do salt. Not that that's the problem, but we all need to pay attention. The heart has to have salt. It's not the opposite. But Ralph taught us so much, and if you wouldn't, how many ever got to hear Ralph? Yeah, it's like, there's that, you ever hear that 1 in a million? You're the 1 in a million. You're the one. I just this last week heard what it means to be 1 in a million. Ralph was 1 in a million. Because when it comes to speaking and taking care of people selflessly for ages, if you're 1 in a million, by taking math, they said that means there's 7,000 more of you in the world. I doubt that there's 7,000 more Ralphs. I think he's more than 1 in a million. He was just a rare person, but he helped Dave a lot with the herbs, and we're going to have to carry on. He left a huge void. It's huge. He took on cancer cases that nobody else would handle. They had no hope, and stuck with him. He has some good help, but he's just precious. And I'm sorry you guys never get to meet him, but I feel an extra pressure to get busier, because now who they got to go to? Harold, Robin. You're pretty lucky to even know there's people like this out. I don't have some of us in the same room. So I really honor Ralph. Is one of my favorite sayings from Ralph, and we still use it in our house. You'll get this, Dave. When you complain about something and you're within his earshot, he says, "Well, it sucks to be you."
Sucks to be you, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, but he was arrogant about who he was, and I appreciate that strength. come talk to Dave about his herbs. Dave's quiet and gentle, he's not a big promoter like some of us that get shut up. But there's quality, there's enough here, why would you buy herbs from Dave or from us? I'll tell you a reason. You cannot get these herbs in the health food store. They are too potent, they would not be allowed in the health food store. Everything in the health food store has to be wimpy, bimpy, mamby, pamby, so nobody gets sued. And Doug Small, out of Potpourri in Wilmer, said that 85% of the average health food store is synthetic. And he should know it's pathetic because he is one of them owners that has some synthetics. They ask for it, so you supply it. And you walk in not understanding, and you go to some place like the Great Nothing Corporation, some people call it GNC, and you think they're teaching you good stuff. They don't even have product to back up what they're trying to tell you. These herbs are so powerful, you'd have to buy 10 times as much possibly, in most of the tinctures, to get the same potency. In other words, you have to do a squeezer instead of a dropper. Most people don't even know that. Did you know that in the health food store, Robin? 85% synthetic. And we're supposed to send people blankly down to the health food store, and they're supposed to, well, I know where the health food store is. You can't even buy what you need. Now they got some good stuff. We're sure better than the local soap and puke or the local grocery store. But, no. Can I say something? No, this is it. Oh, I'm just not gonna keep going. I could go another hour or two.
I'm gonna cut you off.
I think I get really inspired when I see the solution table for some of the tough things.
Put it up to your mouth.
I get inspired when I get the product because they're a quick fix, they're duct tape, they're the mentality, let's get you started so you listen to us a little longer, and then let's get you to listen to what Harold's got to say.
That's gonna be another couple holiday time today.
Yeah, but what I want to tell you so that you understand as a people out here, there's different degrees of people that are sick. Some have never heard the word echinacea or the word ginkgo biloba or nuno delgado, or they don't know these fancy words. Some are kindergarten or preschool, and they got a PhD disease. They're going to die in a few days if you don't get them up to speed. And we can't get them from kindergarten to PhD level to save themselves, so we have to come up with some solutions to stick in their mouth, put it in their face, get to them until we can get them to learn diet and lifestyle, or live it and lifestyle. Now, some of you have been coming long enough to seminars and doing things. You're now ready for graduation from at least maybe junior high or high school. But I'm still excited every so many days and things come in the mail, or I see on the internet, or somebody tells me about something like, Dave, I gotta know what that is. I can't go without knowing what your mushroom is. It's like, I've been immersed in this, and my dad and my grandpa were both, and we still don't have all the answers. So somebody has to be the leader to take it to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, so this stuff doesn't get lost. Get busy with all of your understanding, especially about herbs, because if the government that's in charge of this world pulls off what they want, you won't have a health food store to go to. You may not even have the multi-level to buy a product from in the mail. You may have to go pick your own dandelions and eat them.
If you wanna have a better people following you, yeah, what I've seen happen around us is you got tools, but you're not telling them about the natural things. They do this plus the natural juice and stuff, and watch what happens faster and better. But people are weak. As soon as they start feeling good, they quit. So you gotta keep trying.
It's called SSD, it's new disease.
I don't know, but I gotta keep working on it.
In fact, I bet you got some, you probably got this disorder a little bit.
Oh yeah, I totally got that too.
No, I got it bad.
I got one guy says, you know, if I go 4 days without juicing, I start feeling worse. He come the other day, he started saying, well, I found this guy, he's got these, what do you call it, crystals. I said, John, I know what it sounds like, you're not juicing. Well, I haven't been juicing
think everybody in here has some occasional SSD, it's a new coin phrase that we came up with. Something shiny disorder, something shiny like crystal showed up, something shiny disorder, something got our attention away from something. It's just part of being a human being, we get sidetracked, and you can't really blame America with all the TV and all the billboards. Something's gonna come along that looks sexier, fancier, easier, and so we're constantly at that battle. So our job is cut out for us, we just keep harping and learning and teaching and sharing and caring.
We got to shut off from the people that didn't tell us the wrong thing all the time. Look where it's got us, no place.
You didn't vote for Obama?
No, hell no. But there's a lot of damn people that did. We're ignorant.
We're not sure about
But
that.
it's the same doggone thing with health, you know? If the same people that voted for
You
that
tapped
are
into your
ignorant about
computers
about
to
health.
change the results of the.
Yeah,
You know?
there's no election in our lifetime. I'm so old, I can't remember a single election that wasn't rigged,
They're all rigged.
and I'm only 60.
Oh, you're young. Oh,
Yeah. Reagan was dirty. One of the cleanest we better say after politics.
You can talk about that afterwards.
Yeah.
We'll never get done.
No, they'll sell that.
I wanna thank everyone for coming, and I want to say thank you to Bird McCoy standing in the back for letting us use his facility again. This has been a blessing. He's just a great guy, and please let him know that. Say thank you to him, shake his hand, get to know him. He's a great guy. And thank you very much for coming. Please, if you did not sign in, I think everyone did except for you. Please make sure that you've signed in, that we have your contact information, so if we have another seminar in the future that we can let you know. And if you have any questions, please do feel free to ask Paul, myself, even Logan back there sitting at the table, can answer quite a few questions that you would have. I forgot what else I was gonna say. Oh, thank you for bringing food. Those of you who brought food, that was a wonderful lunch. It was a good example of that we can actually eat a healthy lifestyle, and continue to grow in our education and our health.